At 25, Elara's life was a carefully curated collection of successes, a respectable job in graphic design, a minimalist city apartment, and a few dependable friends. Yet, an undeniable feeling of solitude was her constant companion. She often felt like a spectator in her own life, especially at social events like the one she was currently attending. It was her colleague's birthday party, hosted in a loud, crowded loft. Elara stood by a window, nursing a glass of wine she had no intention of drinking. She watched the energetic crowd, people laughing, dancing, and connecting, but felt entirely separate, as if watching a movie. This sense of detachment had its roots in her childhood, when a family move had severed her connection to her best and only soulmate, a boy named Leo. They had shared a world of inside jokes and secret dreams, a bond she had never managed to replicate. Over the years, his memory had become a faded, bittersweet echo. Deciding she needed a break from the noise, she slipped out onto the small balcony. The cool night air was a welcome relief. She wasn't alone. A man was leaning against the railing, his silhouette outlined by the city lights. Unlike the chaotic crowd inside, he had a quiet, observant energy that mirrored her own. Their eyes met, and for a split second, a strange jolt of familiarity ran through her. It was a feeling she couldn't place, but it was powerful. He offered a small, tentative smile, and she found herself smiling back. He walked over. Escaping the chaos, he asked, his voice calm and warm. Something like that, she admitted. It's a bit overwhelming. I get it, he chuckled softly. I'm not much of a party person myself. My friend insisted I come. He had kind, hazel eyes that seemed to hold a gentle curiosity. I'm Leo, he said. Elara's heart skipped a beat. It was a common name, but hearing it from him felt significant. I'm Elara. His smile faltered, and he studied her face with a sudden intensity. Elara. That's a beautiful name. You know, you remind me of someone. A friend I had a long time ago. Her name was Elara, too. The air grew thick with unspoken possibility. Oh, she managed to say, her voice a little shaky. Yeah, he continued, a nostalgic look in his eyes. We used to have this silly dream of catching fireflies to send messages to the stars. The memory, long dormant, hit her with the force of a tidal wave. Fireflies in a jar. A little boy with a gap-toothed grin and a promise to be friends forever. Her voice was barely a whisper. Did you call her Ellie? Leo's expression shifted from polite curiosity to pure astonishment. He took a half-step back, his eyes wide. No one has called her that in 15 years. How could you possibly know that? Tears of disbelief and joy welled in her eyes. Because I'm her, she said, her voice trembling with emotion. And you're the Leo who wanted to be a space explorer. The name hung in the air between them, a bridge across a decade and a half of silence. In that single, impossible moment, the persistent loneliness that had shadowed Elara's life simply dissolved. The invisible wall around her heart shattered. Without a word, they left the party. The noise and the people faded into insignificance. They found a quiet, all-night cafe and talked for hours, piecing together the years that had separated them. He told her about his life abroad and his recent return, his work as an architect. She told him about her art and the quiet ache of always feeling like something, or someone, was missing. "I think I was always looking for you," she confessed, her voice soft. Leo reached across the table and took her hand. It felt like coming home. "Me too, Ellie," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I always felt like a part of me was missing." For the first time in years, Elara felt whole. The echo she had been chasing was no longer a faint memory but a living, breathing person sitting right in front of her. She wasn't just a spectator anymore, she was finally at the heart of her own story, a story that had just found its most important chapter.